Hi, it's Claire and welcome to Needle Say More. Today I'm going to show you how to create an upcycled Tailor's ham from fabric cuts in just 3 minutes. So I found these Victory patterns, Tailor's ham and Tailor's sausage patterns on the Tilly and Buttons blog, which I'll include the link below. So I cut out 2 inner and 2 outer. So for the lining I used offcuts from my daughter's old duvet cover, and for the outside I used offcuts. I can't even remember what the projects are from, but little tiny scraps I'd had lying about. So to start off with, cut out all the pieces. I had 2 outer and 2 lining. I cut out the dart to make it really easy to draw these on. So for the ham I had to draw out 4 darts on each piece, so 16 darts in total. I lined up the darts just by eye. I didn't mark it out like I usually would on a garment, because with a tailor's ham I wasn't worried about fit issues. So once I'd done the 4 darts on each of the lining pieces, I lined them up as accurately as I could, and then I sewed all the way round, but I left a small gap so that I could turn it through, and this is the gap that I was going to put the fabric scraps through. There we go, so that's it being all turned through. And then I repeated this exact process for the outer. So 4 darts on each of the liners. Now it's worth noting that the top and bottom are different and the darts are different shapes, so it's really important to put your notches on when you're lining it up. So with the outer, I did actually line up my darts using sewing pins, but I didn't do this on the liner just because I knew it would annoy me when I was pressing if the darts didn't line up. So I pinned the outer, and then I stitched it all the way around, remembering to leave a gap to turn it through in the same position as I left in the lining, so that my 2 gaps would line up when it was all together. Because remember I said before, there is a top and a bottom, a single notch and a double notch. So then I put the lining inside the outer, stuffed it with scraps. I even got some overlocking threads and offcuts, all they went in. And I spent quite a lot of time packing it down because I wanted it to be really dense. Then the lining I stitched using an overcast stitch all the way down to hold it, because it was quite densely packed. So I thought this would hold it more securely. There we go. And then the outer, I stitched this with a ladder stitch. And I did this twice just to make sure it was extra secure, so that when I'm pressing, it's not going to split. And I really like the way the grey and blue herringbone looks against the pink. I mean, it was from fabric offcuts, so it was complete chance, but actually I think they do work well. There we go. And I inserted my little handmade label. That'd be great for pressing all future products made from offcuts inside and out.